Hello, welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and in today's video we have some really interesting news, something that I was really not expecting here, and it seems that we are going to have a new studio that is going to be working on Star Citizen, and that new studio is located in a country that is none other than France. Now that is a surprise, to be sure. A welcome one? I don't know, I guess we'll see. Now it's not exactly Cloud Imperium Game here that we're talking about, but we are talking about Turbulent. Now, Turbulent, you guys probably know, right? It's the company that's located in Montreal, Canada, or Quebec, Canada, that is in charge of, the website. They're in charge of some of the systems like persistent entity streaming, and also they are creating some systems, and especially planetary systems, and especially planets. They're working on. They're helping the main studios at Cloud Imperium Games to, for example, redo Lorville right now. And one of the reasons why they are creating a new studio, they said, is because about 40% of their staff is actually French from France. Now, these are information that we got from a French YouTube channel, Pulsar42. I'll put the link in the description down below. This channel interviewed Marc Baudet and Benoit Beauséjour of Turbulent. So these are definitely reliable sources here, and they explained to us the reason why they moved over there and what they are, at least how they are going to be operating, right? So the reason why they moved to France, they opened a studio in the city of Lyon, which is actually a very famous city when it comes to the video game industry. They have a lot of studios in Lyon, including Asobo that works on Microsoft Flight Simulator, Eden Games that made The Crew, Nacon, which is one of the most prominent game publishers in France, Quantum Dream, which is famous for Detroit Become Human, and they are also working on the next Star Wars game, Star Wars Eclipse, and of course, Ubisoft has a branch there, Ubisoft Ivory Tower too. So they say that 40% of the Turbulent staff actually comes from France, and what the problem with the staff over there is that a lot of them, well, they move to Quebec, but eventually they miss France and they want to go back. But at the same time, Turbulent does not want to be losing their talent. So how to do that? Well, it's very simple. All they had to do was to open an office in France, and so they would allow their staff to go back to France and at the same time retain their talent, and it wouldn't necessarily affect the way that they make the game so much. Now, another problem was that a lot of these staffs in Quebec were freelancers, but were working primarily with Turbulent. So it was also a way to keep those staff by offering them a job over there in Lyon. Although right now, the office, we have a little bit of information regarding the size of the office. It's quite small since it's brand new. Benoit did tell us that they only have 7 staff and 6 are working currently on Star Citizen. So mainly a Star Citizen office, mainly a Star Citizen studio there, but still relatively small, but they are going to be recruiting, and in the future it should become larger and larger. Now also, Benoit did talk about something very interesting during the interview. He said that having an office at the same time zone also was very important, because Europe is quite a prominent place right now for the creation of Star Citizen. They obviously have an office in Frankfurt, Germany, and they also have an office in Manchester, which is where Chris Roberts and Jared are located. So definitely you do want to avoid having some kind of interference because of the time zone. There are 5 hours of differences here between the UK and Montreal, so it's really it can really be an issue, and having an office right there at the same time zone, or almost the same time zone, there's only 1 hour of difference between France and England, is definitely going to be making their lives easier, especially when it comes to coordination. Now, this was also made possible because of the pandemic. The pandemic forced Turbulent to adapt to remote work, and basically people have been working anywhere. Some people have even gone back to France during the pandemic, and it just made them figure out that having an office over there right in France is also okay. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, why France in this in particular. Well, maybe of you guys maybe don't know it, but France is actually a huge country in the video game industry. with a ton of companies that originate there. The most famous, obviously, being Ubisoft, but there are plenty of other game companies and studios that are located there. They have a lot of gaming schools that teach young talent the different jobs and activities related to video gaming. And so that's also a reason why Benoit Beauséjour decided to open an office there, so that he could have directly access to the pool of talent that is directly over there in France. So there we have it, guys. Star Citizen has a new studio that is located in Lyon, France, and I guess that it would be very interesting to see what they are going to make. Right now we don't have any details as of what they are doing. What I guess is that they are doing the same type of tasks that they are doing in Montreal. It's just that instead of being in Canada, it's in France. But I guess that we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see if we have any developments or any news perhaps coming from a future episode of Inside Star Citizen. Anyway, guys, that is all for today's video, but let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what do you think the studio in France is going to be doing? Are they going to perhaps work on Squadron 42, perhaps working extra world for maybe not chapter 1, but the next chapters, perhaps? That could be a possibility as well. I don't know. Are you French, perhaps? Would you like to be working for Turbulent France? I don't know. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That is all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's been the Eradicator. I want to give you a big shout out to my Patreon supporters. That include Dr. Forbin, Captain Snake, Wolfpack Pug, and Zero Crusher. It's been the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.